Copy. Coming up.
All right, gentlemen, welcome back. I'm really glad to be showing you guys this one. Not 100% sure what we are doing here, but that's my yellow block. I got about 30 foot of chain underneath, 4 chains, 2 bridles, and that's me up in the cab. POTAIN
So we
389.
can, the toilet also, and that thing that Sean's pushing also, and the DEP we can just put down on the slab, just past.
Can you do me a favor and just go over to the Liam where that steel bin is and grab that garbage box? It comes up to D1 level somewhere.
Boom, right in the hands, baby.
Close to the elevator core. I'm not too sure.
Those are... That's crane. There's another tower crane on site. There's 2 other tower cranes on site. That's the other crane operator talking to me. When you have multiple tower cranes swinging on the same site within the same radius, you each share a common radio channel. So I have a dedicated channel to talk to the guys on the ground who handle the chains, and then between the 3 crane operators, we have our own closed channel. No one else on site gets that channel, just the crane operators, and that's the little radio you'll see water, I reach.
You know? I got 2 waters, 2 coffees. I try to drink a water before I touch the coffee, you know?
Hydration.
Feels more healthy.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, there's a little, with my left hand, you'll see me use that radio. Just looking at that little bit of the layout of the land, what has happened is we just unloaded a truck full of rebar, and we have this section of deck that the rod busters want to start laying their steel. So we are clearing the last bits and pieces of all equipment off the deck so that they have a nice clean deck to start laying their steel. So what we're rigging up now is some rolls of conduit. So that's some electrician's conduit. Just a nice little single choke around each of those. As long as you have your choke somewhat centered on these wagon wheels, I like to call them, then yeah, you can just choke as many as you can, many chains as you have. Nice little 4-pack right there. And as I come up more, you're gonna see all that steel just nicely laid there. Yeah, on the far side, actually, it looks like all that top steel has been, or that bottom steel at least, has been laid. You got to do 2 different layers of steel, bottom and the top. You know, you want that tensile strength throughout the entire height of the concrete. One of the other most common questions I get is, what the heck is that clicking sound? If you look at my right hand, that is what the clicking sound is. It's from the hoist. So the faster, you know, the more frequent the clicks, the faster frequency, the faster I am going down or letting line out. And the click is just like a reference. You can have it or you can take it off. You can also use it on your trolley, which is what I have with my left hand, but I don't have that function turned on. I only like to have it on my hoist. And even actually since the filming of this, I don't really use it on my hoist anymore, very often. But it's the way that I learned. So you'll notice with everything's in tower cranes, or just cranes in general, or just learning in general, the way that you learn is kind of your home base. But since I just one day kind of decided to turn it off to see how it was, and maybe it's like one day I kind of noticed it, and then after that I honestly don't even notice it anymore. So but it's a good indicator to use when you're brand new.
Like a wagon wheel.
So yeah, we're taking those conduit reels. They're gonna use the conduit, that's why they were there, but the barmen have to lay their rod down first. They have to put all their bottom steel, and then the plumbers and the electricians will come in and put their conduits and whatnot on the deck, and then the rodmen will come back and put their top layer of steel after that. So yeah, looks like we got pretty clean deck, honestly. Actually, you can see that dunnage laid out there, kind of toothpicks. That's 4x6. Doesn't look like 4x6 from where I'm sitting, but those are actually, yeah, like 10 to 12 foot long 4x6. But looks like we got this crate, and we got this DEP box also. And then that should be it. Maybe there's actually a truck of rebar that we're going to unload right after this. Like I said, this is actually quite a bit, quite a while ago, so I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. That's actually the plumber right there. He's saying, hey, I want this over there. Where are you moving my material? And my rigger is coordinating with him.
What the heck you doing with my material? That's really good.
Look at that.
That's a great plumber. Great attitude.
Just come down a few more feet there.
How much is one of those clicks, you might wonder? It depends, because there's a few different settings, but I'm gonna say between...
Did a few lifts for him and he gave me a $25
2 to 8 inches.
gift card?
Something like that.
$25 gift card at Tim Hortons. Most crane operators accept bribes for you other guys in the trades out there, just saying.
That's right. Yeah, you want to get your relationship going with a crane op, then just offer them a little bit of a bribe.
Grease the wheels a little bit, am I right?
That's right. Yeah. And honestly, it goes a long way. A little bit of a bribe, and you're going to get a lot more lifts than you would otherwise, you know? He's going to let you unhook loads, and the more you do that, the more he's going to trust, and the more the relationship develops. If you're ever working on a big, large commercial site like this that has tower cranes, it's all about developing trust with the operator. Because if the operator can trust that you can rig your own loads, if you can trust that you can land your own loads, if you can trust that you're going to be responsible with the chains, then you can work with him more informally. Now, it takes time to develop that kind of relationship, obviously. So, you know, don't rush it. But if it's your first time, you know, grabbing the chains and it doesn't go exactly how you think, don't be surprised. Because you're going to be doing stuff that he doesn't understand, and it's probably going to be the same. You just gotta get into a groove, you know? Like, look at that. That's no hand signals, that's no nothing. Me and this guy have worked together a lot. There doesn't need to be a lot of communication all the time. You just kind of, you know, understand each other's movements. But if you're working with a new guy, it's hard to know what he's going to do. You need to be able to trust that he's not going to do something crazy, something stupid, something wild, something erratic. What's he doing now? Oh, I'm coming down. We're going for the DEP box next, I guess. So he wants to take out all 4 chains? Is that what's happening? What's going on here? He's sorting through something. So, some sort of a knot, or just trying to figure out, what's he trying to figure out here? Okay, I'm coming down for him. You come down to this breast that waves me off. The bridle is where you hang up the chains that you're not using. So you don't want to have 4 chains hanging the whole time, unless you work for velocity. Then you definitely do want to have 4 chains hanging the whole time. But for slick riggers who want to work efficiently and fast, you want to only use however many chains you need. So typically you run with 2 chains down and have the other 2 hanging up, connected to their own bridle, which makes it easy to put something right into a basket. And if you gotta choke something, you don't have the other 2 chains getting in your way.
Toilet next. Maybe just tell Sean you can land it right beside where we landed that thing, and then you can just go right to the DDP after, and then we'll get out of his way.
I seem to be in a bit of a hurry here. I wonder, yeah, maybe the steel truck's on site. And I think I think it was the other crane that's unloading the steel truck. So they're kind of waiting for us to clear this out before they can get going. So essentially, there's a lot of people waiting for this little deck to get cleared.
Anybody home?
Look at that. Open the door. That's the most important check when lifting a toilet like this. You don't want to take anyone for a free ride up in the old porta potty. That is a easy way to get yourself in some hot water, that's for sure. Yeah, make sure no free rides. That's gonna be a good couple meetings, that's for sure. They're not gonna be fun. Oh, I don't like that.
Let's not. Let's put it right beside where we put this thing.
Okay.
Now, why don't I want to put it there, I wonder? What can I see there? Yeah, the guys are the guys are going to be working there. So if I put it there, it'll be in their way. This is a much better spot. The deck's kind of fully built where they are. It's not by like
I
a
went there,
open
but
edge.
Steve has swung around, so now his crane's in my way for me to get there. So now I can just get right out of his way.
See that red mast right there? That's another tower crane. So you can't see his jib and his counter jib, but his jib and counter jib were in the way of me getting to where they wanted me to put the toilet. So I kind of overruled them and said, you know what? It's easier for me to just come down here. Let's make it happen. Time is of the essence. This is a little DEP box. It's like the stretcher. If someone gets hurt up on the deck, you know, I fly this. We can bandage them up, put them on the stretcher, and I can fly them to the road for a quick evacuation. So it's a flyable ambulance, the crane ambulance, I guess you could call it. Yeah. And this is not how you hook it up if you were to have a patient who's hurt in there. But if there's no one hurt, then you can just, you know, kitty corner, put it on the old shackles, and you'll be good to go. You don't gotta use 4 chains every time if you're not transporting personnel. If you are transporting personnel, there's a very specific way you have to fly it. And all the goodies to do that are inside. Yeah, looks like I'm just popping it over that railing, and I'm gonna drop it down.
Yeah, that's all done for the deck work. Beautiful. Good job, man.
Good job to you too, sir.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it down at the bottom of the scaffolding, it looks like. Takes the boys some time, you know, on these like big commercial sites where you start getting a lot of vertical integration. You know, there's usually
Steve, if
only.
you want to make a mental note of where this DEP box is, it's essentially in the same spot, just not on the deck. I'm putting it just on the slab, so you won't be able to see it, but it's exactly the same orientation, swing-wise, just on the little lower slab.
So I'm talking to the other operator there, because this is a piece of equipment that you always have to know where it is in case an emergency happens. So if you move it, you gotta let the other boys know, and it's got to be somewhere, you know, in every crane's radius. So if you think of like a Venn diagram, it's got to be in the overlap. Pull out of the way as I see this guy kind of walk like he's gonna walk under my load. I don't like that, so I trolley in a bit to avoid him. And now my rigger is there, and I'm coming down to Chinatown. Trolley out to avoid the scaffolding. My guy's got hands on. Now you want to be nice and steady on the hoist at this point. Nice and steady. Beautiful. And you always want to come down a little bit more, you know, give them a little slack to work with in those chains. Deck is clear. Boys can do their bottom steel. Easy money. If you have any questions about anything you see, post the comments. I read most of the comments and I respond. If you ask us a legitimate question, I will answer it. If you ask me a smart ass question, I'll probably light you up. Anyways, thanks for watching, boys.